Hello friends, today we are going to discuss the next part of the automobile engineering, that is already we have seen, that is unit number 3, that is related with the transmission system, in which already we have completed the part of the, that is a requirement of the transmission system principle and the types of transmission and the components of the transmission system. The first component is the clutch. So we are going to learn in this video the types of clutch and its basic principle and the working and the construction of the clutch. Myself, Mr. S.P. Udgave, Department of Mechanical Engineering, SIT COE. Clutch. So it is a device which carries a power from engine to drive a wheel through shafts. It is located between flywheel and gearbox. A clutch is a mechanism which enables a rotary motion of one shaft to be transmitted to another shaft and whose axis is coincident with that of first. Clutch is located between the engine and gearbox. When the clutch is engaged, the power flows from engine to the rear wheels through the transmission system and the vehicle is moves. When the clutch is disengaged, the power is not transmitted to the rear wheels and the vehicle stops while the engine is still running. Clutch is disengaged when, that is starting the engine, shifting the gearbox and idle the engine. The clutch is engaged only when the vehicle is to move and is kept engaged when the vehicle is moving. Now, the basic definition of the clutch is the mechanism which enables a rotary motion of one shaft to be transmitted when desired to second shaft, the axis of which is coincident with that of the first. So you can see the animation in which the engine it is connected to the flywheel and the spline shaft on which the assembly it is mounted, that is a diaphragm plate, and in between the pressure plate and the flywheel can mount the clutch disc, or it is also called as a friction plate. So this is the actual view, it is also shown in the figure. This is the diaphragm plate and this is the frictional plate, or this is a clutch disc. Now the need of the clutch, we can see the need of the clutch, it is should be transmit the maximum torque of the engine. It should be engaged gradually to avoid the sudden jerks. It should be able to dissipate large amount of heat generated during the clutch operation. It should be dynamically balanced, particularly in case of the high speed engine clutches. It should be have suitable mechanism to damp the vibration and to eliminate the noise produced during the power transmission. It should be as small as possible so that it will occupy the minimum space. It should be easy to operate, requiring as little exertion as possible of the part of the driver, and it should be made as light as possible so that it will continue to rotate for any length of time after the clutch has been engaged. It must be trouble free and have a longer life. It must be easy to inspect, adjust and repair. So these are the some need of the clutch. Also some requirement of the clutch, that is a, it should be transmit the maximum torque that is produced by the engine. Also that is a gradual engagement, it is done with the help of the clutch, that is a positively take the drive gradually without that is a occurrence of the sudden jerks, and heat dissipation, dynamic balancing, vibration damping, size, inertia, that is with having the minimum inertia and easy to operate. So these are the some requirement and needs of the clutch. Now we can see the basic principle of the clutch. So the basic principle and the function. The clutch principle is based on the friction. When the two friction surfaces are brought in contact with each other and pressed, they are united due to the friction between them. If one is revolved, the other will also revolve. The friction between two surfaces depends upon the area of surface, that is a total area of the disk, and pressure it is applied upon them, that is the axial load that is applied on the pressure plate, and the coefficient, that is a mu, coefficient of friction of the surface, that is a surface material. And here one of the surface is considered as a driving member and the other as a driven member. Now you can see the figure in which that is a shows the flywheel, it is a connected to the engine, clutch plate that is in between the pressure plate and the flywheel, and the pressure plate that is operated with the linkages. Now the function of the clutch, the first function that is to permit the engagement and disengagement of the gear when vehicle it is a stationary and the engine is running. Second function it is to transmit the engine power to the road wheel smoothly without shock to the transmission system while setting the wheel in motion. And third function to permit the engaging of gears when vehicle is in motion without damaging gear wheels. Now you can see the animation in that the when we or the driver it operates the clutch pedal, the fluid will be flows and linkages, that is a clutch pedal, that is a pressure plate, it is a moves, and that is disengagement will occurs, and engine it is a disconnected from the engine, and that is a smoothly this operation will occurs at the time of driving the vehicle or at the time of changing the gears. Now clutch classification. So clutch it is a classified, there is a types of clutches, that is a positive clutch and the friction clutches. That is a positive clutches are classified two types, that is a square jaw clutch or spiral jaw clutch. Friction clutches are classified into the cone clutch, centrifugal clutch, dry clutch, magnetic current clutch, eddy current clutch, and the plate clutch. Plate clutch that is again classified into two types, that is a single plate clutch and multi plate clutch. Now we can go through the different types of the friction clutches. So vehicle, we know that the clutch can be defined as a mechanical device which when engaged to transmit the power from one shaft to another, that is a coaxial shaft. So engine, this is the transmission system, it is shown in this animation, and the engine it is connected through the flywheel, and the this is a flywheel and it is connected with the clutch, and then after that there is a shaft that is a transmit the power. Now that power it is transmitted through the propeller shaft to the both the axles. This is shows the propeller shaft. The function of the clutch already we have seen, that is engaging and disengaging the gearbox with the engine and transmitting the engine power to the road wheels smoothly without jerk and shocks, and allowing the gear change without any damage. So these are the functions required. Automobile clutches, that is the friction clutches and the fluid flywheel. These are the basic types. So friction clutch, that is works on the principle when a rotating disc comes in contact with the stationary disc. The stationary disc starts rotating because of the friction between them. So this is shows the friction clutch, and this comes in contact with the, that is a non-movable, with the help of that is a pressure plate. It is applies the pressure on the clutch disc, and that also start rotating. That is the basic principle of friction clutch. And the fluid flywheel, that is a different from the friction clutches, that is the fluid flywheel works on the principle of the transmit the motion between the one to another. The friction clutch it is a classified into cone clutch, single plate clutch, multi plate clutch, semi centrifugal clutch, and centrifugal clutch. So first cone clutch. Now we can see the image